Hi, my name's Erin. I am an unschooler. Unschooling is a form of education, but it's also a way of thinking. The traditional school system has a very defined structure, and it takes children and it fits them into that structure. Bit by bit, year by year, it shapes them, it molds them, it shaves little bits off of them to try and fit them into this structure. And at the end, you pop out of the education system, of the factory that is the public school system, resembling the ideal citizen. Now, this process of shaping and molding and changing children to fit the school system, it's harder on some kids than others. Some kids fit the mold really well. Some kids fit the mold, a little bit. Some kids don't fit the mold at all. And they have to be squeezed and shaped and cut and mutilated to fit. And they come out the other end, this sort of broken, lost, confused version of themselves. And they spend most of their adult years trying to figure out who they are, trying to learn how to trust themselves, trying to learn how to listen to themselves, and trying to learn how to love themselves. After years of being conditioned to believe that who they really are isn't good enough and isn't right and needs to be changed. So unschooling does none of that. Unschooling begins with the unique individuality of every child and encourages that child to trust themselves, to listen to themselves, to value themselves. It teaches them that their feelings are important, that their passions are important, that their way of thinking and their way of doing things is important. It takes that individual child and allows them to grow into the full expression, the greatest potential of that unique person. Because we are all unique snowflakes, and I don't care what those broken, damaged people who criticize unique snowflakes say. We are all unique snowflakes. We are all different, and we are all special. That doesn't mean that our lives will never be hard. It doesn't mean that we never have to push ourselves. But it means that our uniqueness is our strength. And the value of our contribution to this society comes from the ways that we are different, not from the ways that we are the same. Saying that, to unschool my children, I have had to unschool myself. I have had to take myself out of that mold that I was squeezed into for the first 20 years of my life. And honestly, ever since then, because society never stops telling us who we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to behave. But I have had to pull myself out of that mold and figure out what parts of me are me and what parts were given to me by this world who told me what I should be. I've had to find myself. I've had to learn how to listen to myself. I've had to learn how to believe in myself and have faith in myself and trust myself in a way that the system never allowed me to do.
That's good?
You know, for example, when we're young, people say to us, you know, you're just saying that to get attention. You're just making that up to be dramatic. You can't possibly be cold because I'm hot. You can't possibly be hungry because I just fed you. You can't possibly be sad. We're all having so much fun. We're always being told that our instincts are wrong through most of our childhood. So when we arrive at adulthood, we don't trust our instincts. So what this channel is about this process of learning to listen to myself, of learning to trust my instincts, of learning to live true to my values instead of the values that the society has told me I should have. And that's tricky because it means I have to be vulnerable. It's really easy for me to talk about my children because I'm talking about their vulnerabilities. So for me to talk about my vulnerabilities is much scarier. But I think that will be much more helpful because I think there are a lot of people out there who are in the same place as me, who feel stifled by trying to be the person we think we're supposed to be. And the conflict that creates with the person who we feel like we are. The conflict between what our instincts tell us to do and what the society tells us to do. I meet so many other moms who want to unschool their kids, but this world has told them that they can't, and this world has told them that they shouldn't, despite all of these mothers' instincts screaming at them. This is what's best for my child. They do this because that's what everyone tells them is good for their child. So I'm going to focus more on this difficult journey of trying to listen to yourself, trying to be the person that feels right to me, and trying to get rid of all those voices that the world has put into my head about how things are supposed to be done and how my life is supposed to look and what my relationship with my children is supposed to be like, how our days are supposed to be spent. I'm going to try really hard to be honest with you and show you this messy process of trying to live true to my values and trying to live true to my children's values and trying to live our best life. So thank you for joining us while I do all sorts of scary things that might lead to horrible epic failure but might make me the fullest version of myself possible.